Good evening. My name is Anubha Bhonsle, and yes, in the middle of the festive season, I have a follow-up to a story that deserves all our attention. The early release of the 11 convicts in the Bilkis Bano gang rape case this August, and the hero's welcome they received from the VHP. The Supreme Court is currently hearing petitions challenging this early release, and we now know two important things. One, the Union Home Ministry was asked for its opinion and it said yes. And two, the Mumbai Special Crime Branch of the CBI was also asked and they said no. If you followed the Bilkis Bano story, you know why this is so very important. If you haven't, I'd highly recommend this video that we put out when the convicts were released in August. For many of you who watched the August video, it was the perfect primer to understand why Bilkis Bano is important and why her fight for justice is like no other. I also highly recommend the video, especially if you were born post 2000. 11 men were given life imprisonment in 2008 for gang raping Bilkis. She was a young pregnant girl living in Gujarat's Dahod district. These men had also murdered 14 people, including Bilkis's 3-year-old daughter, during the 2002 Gujarat riots. 2008 till 2022, the 11 men served 14 years, the minimum sentence for life convicts. In August, the Gujarat government let them walk free based on a 1992 remission policy and not a 2014 policy that is in effect today. The Supreme Court, in fact, also allowed it to do so. Once again, I'm asking you to see our August video. This story is simply going to unpack who all were in favor of the remission and who were against. Remember, these details are coming out from the affidavits that have been filed in the Supreme Court by the Gujarat government. The Gujarat government's jail advisory panel was of the opinion that the 11 convicts should walk free. We talk about this panel ahead in the video. In June 2022, the central government was asked for their view. The Union Home Ministry gave it a green light in under 2 weeks, this July. No reasons were really elaborated upon when they gave that opinion. The Mumbai Special Crime Branch of the CBI was also asked for their opinion, and as I mentioned very briefly at the top, they objected very strongly. Remember, it was the CBI which probed this case, which exhumed the bodies, which made the 13 arrests, 11 of whom got life sentences. The case was also tried in Maharashtra and not in Gujarat because of intimidation, falsifying of reports, in the state of Gujarat, Bilkis's home state. And that's the reason the Mumbai Special Crime Branch of the CBI was asked for an opinion. They told the Gujarat government that the offence was, and I quote, heinous, grave, and serious, and deserved no leniency. A special civil judge at the Mumbai Sessions Court, who was the presiding judge that passed the order of conviction, was also asked for their opinion. The answer? A concrete no. The judge said, and I quote, "This is the worst form of crime against humanity. It affects the conscience of society. The aggrieved is society at large," unquote. Now, it's not clear, at least from the affidavits in the Supreme Court, why these opinions did not really factor into the final decision. Now, it's worthwhile to see who constitutes the panels and committees who said yes to the remission. All 5 members of the jail advisory panel who voted yes to the remission of the convicts are BJP members from Gujarat. It's a state which had little to do with the arrest and the trial of the convicts. 2 of those members on the advisory panel are currently MLAs. 6 officials were also consulted for the remission. For 10 of the 11 convicts, this list of people agreed to an early remission. there was only one convict, Radheshyam, on which two people said no. The Dahor Superintendent of Police said that in 2020, Bilkis and her family had expressed the fear that Radheshyam Shah could commit the crime again, and so the Dahor District Magistrate recommended that he should not be released, his remission should not be granted. The no's from the CBI, the trial judge, and in the case of one convict from Dahor's DM did not mean much, because the final decision was a blanket yes for early remission of the 11 men approved by the centre. Gujarat has told the Supreme Court that it actually considered three major reasons to allow the men to walk free. Number one, they said that the convicts had spent 14 years in jail, which actually made them eligible for remission. The latest affidavits show that on average, each convict was out of jail on parole or temporary bail or furlough for 1,176 days. That takes off roughly 3.2 years from time served for each convict. Reason number two, their age. And reason number three, their good behavior. The state said there was no evidence of any wrongdoing by the convicts while they were serving time in jail and while they were out on parole. Is that the truth? Well, one of the convicts, Mitesh Bhatt, was booked in July of 2020 for threatening and harassing witnesses and for outraging a woman's modesty while on parole. A witness in the Bilkis Bano case filed this FIR and the trial is pending. What's interesting is that even after this 2020 FIR, he was out on parole in the Bilkis case for 281 days. All of this is not our imagination. It is from the affidavits that have been filed in the Supreme Court. NDTV has separately accessed at least two more police complaints by three witnesses in the Bilkis Bano case. They alleged that they were being threatened by two other convicts while they were out on parole. Now, these complaints never turned into FIRs. Let's go back to the Gujarat government's affidavit, and some more details are really coming out about this good behavior argument. 10 convicts of the 11 surrendered late several times while they were let out of jail temporarily under parole or furlough. When these delays were for fewer than 10 days, they were given warnings or jail punishments such as being denied canteen facilities for a month. One convict, Raju Bhai Soni, returned from parole 197 days late in 2015. He was punished with forfeiting all remission by the Godhra sub-jail superintendent. What does that mean? Well, this refers to a temporary relief that is earned by every prisoner as a right under the prison rules based on their good behavior. So if they commit offences while in jail, authorities can actually punish them by forfeiting remission either for a particular amount of time or even for the rest of their sentence. It's not just that one convict. Other convicts have also faced similar punishments for misusing parole in this case, including one who had to forfeit remission for 375 days as a punishment for returning 75 days late from parole in 2015. Now, the rules say that if the jail authorities want to ignore these penalties, then they have to record reasons. The latest affidavits in the Supreme Court are showing none of this happened. Not even in the case of Soni, who forfeited all remission 7 years ago but is out today. Instead, Godhra's jail superintendent has sort of mechanically said that 10 of the convicts stayed in prison, quote unquote, honestly and diligently, and had not been given any major punishment during their life in jail. There is a line that they participated in reform programs, but really no details. Only in the case of one, Radheshyam Shah, who actually filed for his remission in 2019, about 2 years before the other 10 filed theirs, there is some detail about the reform activities or the reformation activities that he undertook. We now also know that the state only asked Bilkis and her family about Radhesham Shah's release. Obviously, the family strongly objected. An entry to that effect was made before the police. They were not asked, or in fact not told, about the release of the other 10 or told about any of the security provisions that they may need. One last thing before I wrap up this video. In response to all of this documentation, all these affidavits, the Supreme Court has told the Gujarat government that its response was bulky. It's just a series of judgments, one after the other. Where was the application of mind? We'll let you know if any answers come up to that question. The Supreme Court is going to convene on the 29th of November on this matter next. I'll wrap up this video with that question that Bilkis asked when the convicts were released. Is this what justice looks like? Is this what justice ends up like? That's all we could wrap in here on this video. If you've been watching, thank you very much for your time.